The digital protection space is newer, not that there's not other companies, but I think it's, you had a number doing kind of physical protection for very high-end executives, et cetera. I think more and more recently there's been more companies trying to address a broader market in the digital protection space. We think VanishID is really kind of at the forefront of that. Again, we talked about AI on the negative sense about enabling a lot more of these attacks. Well, using AI, we're also able to take down bad data, data sitting over at data brokers at a much faster rate than you can if you have people having to manually enter, emails and try to remove data one piece at a time. Well, we can automate a lot of that now, and so I think that's one of the big differentiators is, Vanish is able to leverage those new technologies because we're a newer company, so it's not like we have 10 years of history and old ways of doing things. We're able to really use kind of the latest and greatest ways, which are significantly different than it was even 18 months ago. We thought with the advent of AI that there was just going to be a lot more exploitation of people's personal information. Privacy was more under attack, and obviously, more recently we've seen a lot of the digital go physical, if you will. And so we just thought with all that going on, there's just a really increased need for executive protection and employee protection, and it's a really valuable thing for corporations to be able to do for their employees and to protect themselves, frankly. It's kind of multifaceted, but obviously anytime you're it's gotten much more severe when we've been seeing actual physical threats and intimidation and things like that carried out. But even apart from that, when you have your ID stolen or somebody's impersonated you or opened credit cards in your name, you end up spending a lot of it's a lot of stress, a lot of time gets spent doing that. Time that you'd rather be doing something else with your life.